Clint Eastwood was born Clinton Eastwood Jr. on May 31, 1930, in San Francisco, California, during a time when economic uncertainty shaped nearly every American household. Growing up through the Great Depression, his early years were defined by frequent moves and financial instability, experiences that quietly instilled resilience and self-reliance. His father worked various labor-intensive jobs, including steelwork, while his mother held clerical positions, grounding Clint in a working-class reality far removed from Hollywood glamour. Despite the instability, he developed a strong inner discipline and a love for music, learning piano and later trumpet. Athletics, outdoor labor, and practical jobs helped shape his stoic demeanor. These formative years created the foundation for the grounded, restrained presence that would later define his on-screen persona and his enduring connection with audiences worldwide. Finding direction before finding fame. Before acting became a calling, Clint Eastwood explored multiple paths, reflecting a restless curiosity rather than a fixed ambition. He attended several schools, including Oakland Technical High School, but academic life never fully captured his imagination. Instead, he gravitated toward physical work and music, taking jobs as a lifeguard and laborer while briefly studying at Seattle University. These experiences grounded him in everyday life, offering perspective that many performers never acquire. His eventual entry into Hollywood was modest and uncertain, marked by bit roles and contract struggles. Early rejection did not discourage him. Rather, it reinforced patience and persistence. Eastwood's path was not one of overnight success, but slow, steady growth. This gradual rise allowed him to develop discipline, humility, and a deep respect for the craft, qualities that later distinguished him from many of his contemporaries. The Western reinvented through a new lens. Eastwood's career shifted dramatically in the 1960s when he accepted a role that would redefine the Western genre. Cast by Italian director Sergio Leone, he portrayed the quiet, morally ambiguous man with no name in a trilogy that included A Fistful of Dollars for a few dollars more and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. These films stood in stark contrast to traditional American westerns, replacing clear moral lines with grit, silence, and consequence. Eastwood's restrained performance, paired with Ennio Morricone's haunting scores, created an entirely new cinematic language. His cowboy was not heroic in the classic sense, but human, flawed, and unpredictable. This reinvention resonated globally and established Eastwood as a cultural force, reshaping how westerns and protagonists themselves could be portrayed. From iconic roles to expanding range. Following his success in westerns, Eastwood resisted being confined to a single identity. In the 1970s, he introduced audiences to Inspector Harry Callahan in Dirty Harry, a role that further cemented his tough, uncompromising image. Yet even as the character became iconic, Eastwood continued to diversify. Films like Escape from Alcatraz and Every Which Way But Loose revealed unexpected emotional depth and even comedic timing. He proved capable of vulnerability beneath the hardened exterior. Rather than relying solely on physical dominance, Eastwood began exploring internal conflict and consequence. This evolution kept his career relevant as cinema itself changed. Audiences responded not just to his strength, but to the quiet introspection he brought to increasingly complex characters. A director emerges with purpose. Eastwood's transition behind the camera marked a defining chapter in his career. His directorial debut, Play Misty for Me, demonstrated a natural understanding of pacing, atmosphere, and character psychology. As a director, he favored efficiency, minimalism, and emotional honesty. Films such as The Outlaw, Josie Wales, and Unforgiven challenged traditional narratives of violence and heroism, questioning the cost of vengeance rather than glorifying it. Unforgiven earned him Academy Awards and widespread critical acclaim, solidifying his reputation as a serious filmmaker. His later works, including $1 Million Baby and Gran Torino, continued to explore themes of regret, redemption, and moral responsibility. Eastwood's directing style reflected his life philosophy, quiet, deliberate, and deeply human. Personal life, relationships, and reflection. Beyond the screen, Eastwood's personal life unfolded under public scrutiny. His marriages, particularly to Maggie Johnson and later Dinah Ruiz, reflected the challenges of balancing intimacy with a demanding career. Long absences, professional pressures, and personal shortcomings shaped these relationships, leading to divorces that marked periods of reflection rather than retreat. Despite these challenges, Eastwood remained actively involved in the lives of his children, many of whom pursued creative paths of their own. Over time, he demonstrated growth, acknowledging complexity rather than denying it. His later relationships reflected a quieter, more private approach to life. These experiences deepened his understanding of human fragility, an awareness that increasingly informed his storytelling both as an actor and a director. Eastwood and John Wayne. Two paths, one legacy. As Clint Eastwood reached his 90s, curiosity grew around his perspective on John Wayne, the towering figure who once defined the American Western. When Eastwood finally addressed the subject, his words were measured and thoughtful. He acknowledged Wayne's immense cultural impact, recognizing him as a symbol of an era built on clarity, strength, and moral certainty. However, Eastwood made clear that his own approach differed. Where Wayne embodied heroic simplicity, Eastwood gravitated toward ambiguity and consequence. Rather than rivalry, Eastwood framed their relationship as one of parallel paths shaped by different times. He respected Wayne's professionalism and presence while choosing not to emulate his style. Their legacies, he suggested, reflect the evolution of storytelling itself. Respect without imitation. Eastwood emphasized that admiration does not require imitation. He praised Wayne's ability to command attention and connect with audiences, noting the power of authenticity in Wayne's performances. At the same time, Eastwood explained that his generation sought to explore deeper psychological terrain. Life, he noted, rarely fits neatly into categories of right and wrong. This philosophy guided his career choices, pushing him toward characters burdened by memory, regret, and moral uncertainty. While the two men never collaborated or formed a close friendship, Eastwood described a mutual understanding that existed without closeness. Their differences, rather than dividing them, expanded the genre. Together, their contrasting visions created a richer cinematic legacy that continues to influence filmmakers today. A legacy that continues to evolve. At 94, Clint Eastwood stands as a living bridge between Hollywood's past and present. His reflections on John Wayne reveal not judgment, but maturity, an artist confident enough to honor history while defining his own voice. Eastwood's career, spanning more than 7 decades, is marked by evolution rather than stagnation. From actor to director, from Western icon to reflective storyteller, he has continually adapted while remaining true to his principles. His films endure because they ask difficult questions and trust audiences with honest answers. As cinema continues to change, Eastwood's legacy remains firmly rooted in restraint, integrity, and humanity. His story is not just one of fame, but of thoughtful growth, and that may be his greatest achievement of all.